Hello, welcome back to Morrison Heights Family Connect. It's the podcast of Morrison Heights Baptist Church. I'm Tim Peabody, and I'm glad you're here. Our guest is none other than Iron Dan Lauing, the only guy I know who has completed, no, I know two guys who have completed an Ironman triathlon. And so that's what you got to open with if you're an Ironman. Welcome, Dan.
Thanks. Hello. Great to be here.
You're on the podcast today because I heard a vicious rumor that you're moving.
Oh. Yeah, that's what it takes.
Unacceptable.
I even had a couple people invite me to lunch for the first time.
I finally got friends now that you're leaving.
That's exactly right.
Not really. Dan and I have been friends for a long time. We used to be running friends, but as you can see, he does a lot more running than I do nowadays.
Yeah, it scares me how professional you're talking right now. I hope I can keep up.
It's a pretty professional operation we run here.
It looks great. Yeah.
So you guys are moving to either Ohio or Kentucky, right?
Yeah, that's the plan. I get scared saying what's going to happen.
Well, have you accepted a job there?
We did.
It's good to plan on that.
Yeah, that's the plan. I'm really hoping that they don't fire me before we make it up there. That would not be the plan.
If anybody from Answers in Genesis is watching this podcast, which they will be, we know of no reason you should fire Dan before he gets up
That's
there.
Right.
This is just Dan.
Yeah.
What are you going to be doing for Answers in Genesis?
Very similar thing to what I've been doing for MC for Mississippi College the past 10 years, which is the wireless. So I don't like to talk about what it is too much. You only know if you already do it. If you connect to the wireless, that's my job.
So you're a wireless network engineer, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And that's your job title there at Answers in Genesis?
Mm-hmm.
So anybody who's on their campus, employees or guests, who uses a wireless network, you're the guy hooking them up.
I will be.
Yeah.
Not yet. Yeah, they kind of... I just got... I wasn't really looking for them. I didn't know they were looking for anybody. I just, as I tell the story, it was a Friday night, and if you have any of these LinkedIn alerts, they'll just throw them to you at random times. It was Friday night. I was done. I was like, good, the week's over. Party time.
Oh, I've been at the Lauing house on the weekend. I know what that's like.
Yeah, so I don't want to say any more. But it was around 9 o'clock, maybe 9:30. The kids were in bed. I looked at the email one last time just to make sure that Tim didn't need any help personally. And then
Thank you.
there was AIG alert saying they were looking for that exact title, wireless network engineer. It's like, that's nice. So I was just gonna move on, but I was like, my conscience said, just apply. I don't want to. The week's over. I'm going to bed or I'm not working. But okay, let me just apply.
You did it right then.
I had to because my conscience is a nagging beast. And
I know.
Yeah. Well, there's so much truth in what you just said, and you really do know that about me. So I just was like, all right, let me hurry up and get this done. It was a tremendously large application.
And it has to be the right fit. Like, you have to sign their, statement of beliefs, right, to work there?
Which is one of the reasons it takes a while. If you've ever made an account with them or signed up or bought a little pamphlet from them, then you've probably already got that in the mail recently. And that's on the application. And if you disagree with any jot or tittle, then it's going to come up in the interview like, what's going on?
Wow.
So
this is specific stuff, like age of the earth, 7-day creation,
sure,
dinosaurs on the ark.
Well, I'm not sure that was on there.
So I heard AIG talk about that one time. I thought, that'd be interesting. I don't know.
I think that was probably the case. In fact, I have no reason to believe that wasn't the case. I think there's evidence for it, and there's really not any evidence against it. So I have no problem with that. But I went ahead and applied, filled the thing out, and I was like, they're not going to hire me anyways, but my conscience is clear, so here we go. And 20 minutes later, I got a reply. They were already saying, "Hey, let's work something out. Let's do something. Let's get this first interview going." I was like, "This has got to be fake. This is a bot or something." But it wasn't. You could tell it was a guy.
So they were working on Friday night too?
Well, a specific person saw this and went ahead and just shot it from his phone, and that was 10:30 Central, which they're just in Eastern time, so it was 11:30 approximately.
That's a little over ambitious there.
I was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna have to pursue this." So, well, lo and behold, it just kept going, and eventually they offered, which was really weird. I didn't expect that to happen. I was completely fine. It's easy when you're rejected because then there's no decision to be made.
Sure.
Move on.
Well, you remember when you told me that you applied. You remember what I told you?
I do.
I said they're going to offer you the job.
And what hurt me the most, when it came up actually there, I was like, I don't want Tim to think he was right.
Oh, it's my favorite part of this conversation.
Yeah, so... Well, you didn't know how wrong you were. Like, you shouldn't have guessed that, because I've had so many rejections and so many instant.
Lest you think I'm a prophet, which I'm not.
I would never think that, Tim.
Here's my reasoning. How many wireless network engineers with your certification are there in the U.S.?
In the U.S., we just passed 300 for the specific kind. It's a vendor neutral, non-Cisco specific. So it's kind of it's not new. It's been around for 20 some years. But
and how many of them are going to sign AIG's statement of belief?
That was your logic.
That was it.
And there's nothing wrong with it. I can't say there's anything wrong with it. I don't know. I don't know. So
well, let's move on to a better topic. Let's talk about your family. You guys have a new baby in the house.
Turned a month old a couple or maybe 3 days ago. I'm not sure.
He's a month. You should know.
Well,
it's a fifth
Brandy's,
baby. Okay,
I'm
we'll
usually
give you a
sitting
pass.
here with my wife and talking to her.
She
I don't
knows.
get out much, and she would already know that, so I wouldn't need to. But
wow, can't believe it's already been a month. And baby's name?
Casey.
That's a good name.
We went with. That was a comma. Casey, comma. We went with Jonathan.
Hold on, you're telling Casey that you went with Jonathan?
Yeah, just in case, because he said we should go with that.
Oh, wow.
Based on. So the story goes, Brandy told me, Brandy's my wife, she told me that Maya wanted to name our other son Jonathan, Sheth, but we didn't go with that. I was like, that's nice. Little kids, they have names.
So Maya is your oldest girl.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to name Sheth Jonathan.
That's correct.
So y'all saved it for the next one.
Well, then the next one came along, and she still wanted to name this next boy Jonathan. I was like, that's so strange. That's rare for a 2-year span to go by for a 7-year-old to a 9-year-old. Still think that's a cool thing, and that's normal. So I thought about that. But then actually, AIG, the hiring manager, called me and said, because they were going to fly me and Brandy up there and the baby to go ahead and do one of the interviews, or the last interview, whatever. And he had me on the phone, and he said, "What's your baby's name?"
Shoot, and you didn't have one yet.
I was like, "He doesn't have a name." And he goes, "Okay, well, you need to come up with something."
Was that an awkward conversation?
You need to come up with something because Delta's asking me. And I was like, okay. Well, I was like, well, are you on the line with them right now? He said, yeah, they're on the other line. I was like, oh, well, I'm in the car. I'm driving down the interstate. I mean, I was pulled over and talking on my phone. And I was like, oh, no. Well, that's the only name that we had just ever talked about. Maya wanted Jonathan. So I was like, and I was really hesitant because I thought as soon as I say this, then that's going to be his name.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But I didn't want that name. I didn't think. So I told him, I was like, all the people that have flashed through my mind just have made me make a decision quickly. I thought of you. I thought of Greg Belser. I thought of, anyone that's always putting me on the spot. I thought, I don't like this pattern. Okay.
We also offered suggestions. So.
Yeah, I know it. And it was all good advice. I didn't take it. But I was like, okay, it's Jonathan, I guess. That's not his name, though. He's like, don't worry, they're not going to ask his name. But so anyways, a few days later, we're boarding, and I didn't tell Brandy any of this.
You didn't tell her? This is the best story I've ever heard on this podcast. Carry on.
Up.
You have my complete attention.
So one of the gate attendants is like, here, let me look through your stuff. Whatever, we give him the boarding passes, and he's going through it. And I guess that's when Brandy saw whatever print Delta uses. She sees Jonathan Lauing, and she's just like, wow, that looks so nice. It looks good. It looks right, I guess.
Of all the possible reactions, you're lucky that was the reaction that you got.
Well, she could have used that. She put it together somehow. So anyway, it's kind of a short story after that. We came back and, we had to do the birth certificate because we're kind of leaving.
Yeah.
And I'm asking her, like, one last time, well, what do you want to go with? Is that cool? I guess. I can't think of anything else now. That's all I'm thinking about. So his name's Jonathan. The middle name's a little less common. Ulrich.
Ulrich?
Ulric.
Only Ulrich I've ever known personally.
Good. We were going for unique, but again, once I started thinking of that name, and I don't know, I just kind of was playing with sounds in my mind and ended up with that. Jonathan Ulrich. I was like, that's a boss. So we're going to name our kid that. Jonathan? If she's cool with it. I didn't think she'd be okay with that. When I tossed out that name and she didn't shriek in horror, I was like, really? I'm always learning things about her. That was the time.
Did you run it by Delta first?
I didn't know. They didn't ask for a middle name. So I didn't have to do that.
I am so glad I got to hear that story for the first time on the podcast because that is hilarious.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I didn't. It's just real life,
Well, don't throw away my suggestion. You may have another baby, and when you do,
I don't remember.
Shathan.
Oh yeah,
that's a good name.
Yeah, I recognized it when you texted me that.
I was sitting in church at my brother's church in College Station on 4th of July, and we're studying a passage in the Old Testament with Shathan, who's actually a good guy.
Right.
He's not one that I knew a lot about before that sermon. I didn't know anything about him.
I recognized the name. I didn't remember anything about him.
But he's a good guy. And Stephanie pointed to it and said, Dan should name his baby that.
I'll keep that on the list. Although the last list, my wife had already thrown away, or I guess she said she didn't, but I'm like, I had a list somewhere, I couldn't find it, so it's another reason his name's Jonathan.
My wife has done that with shirts that she didn't like of mine. She just threw them away without telling me. So that could be what happened there.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, so when do you guys move?
As soon as possible. When they were telling me, let's get you up here, they were wanting the middle of July. As you can see, here we are. It's the middle of July. We're not gone. One of them kind of commented last time we talked about it. Let's shoot for the beginning of August as the absolute latest. So hopefully...
Wow, that's soon.
Hopefully we're up there by then. I'm just trying to be... I'm trying to be diligent without being slow, and that can be a small window. I'm just trying to avoid being hasty, especially when these are going to be, some of the biggest decisions we make.
Yeah.
Between buying a house and deciding where to live and stuff like that.
Well, Treebeard's advice is good advice.
Okay, I don't remember it.
Don't be hasty.
Oh, well, there you go.
Thanks, Tom.
That's where I got it. Definitely not the Bible.
Okay, we're going to miss you guys at Morrison Heights. You guys have been around for a long time. My earliest memories of you and Brandy are probably from 2006 or so. Does that sound about right?
Absolutely. Yep. When I first got here.
Well, that's a long time for y'all to have been part of our family. We're going to miss you guys.
I remember, I think the first time I met you, I ran into you in the parking lot. You had said something, and so I don't know why I asked you. I said, how long have you been married? You said 2.5 years.
There you go, 2006.
And so, okay, there you go. And now, yeah, that had to be a while ago.
That was a while. Well, you remember whenever you and Brandy showed up to the college leader retreat engaged and I didn't believe you?
You believed us less. You believed us more than your wife believed us. She was the most skeptical in that house.
After a few minutes, I could tell y'all definitely were not pranking us. You were actually engaged.
Yeah, you're like, this is beyond dry humor.
Yeah, like that's a serious commitment to comedy.
Hey, Dan's not that funny. This is next level. Yeah, she was real big on the size of the ring. She's like, this isn't the right size. I'm like, yeah, well.
What, Stephanie was saying that?
Yeah, she's like, and that's how I know. I'm like, well, I just didn't want to go too small. We can always size it down.
She thought it was too big to be believable?
I went with a size 7. I knew her finger was smaller
the
than
rings,
that, but,
the actual circle size.
Yeah. Also,
I thought you were talking about the diamond.
That too.
This is an awkward story.
Yeah. Stephanie is a very confident lady. And,
not sure that would make my wife look that good if it was the diamond size that she was questioning.
This is too small. Get this in. So, I knew her finger was smaller than that, but I just, I figure, all the whatever the size is, they'll make you pay the same at first, but they'll size it down for free. But I had a feeling if I wanted them to size it up, they're gonna make me fork it over. So,
Good thinking.
I didn't want to. Hey, what's your ring size? Right before I asked her.
Got to surprise her.
No. So I just went for it, and it was too big.
Well, this has been fun and interesting. You have a devotion to share. Before you do you have a devotion to share?
Sure.
Before you do, I want to read some people from the hospital list. Remember these folks in your prayers. Rusty Bush, still in the hospital. Remember him and his family. Donald Coker, who is married to Aaron Coker, who works at our preschool and after school. He's in the hospital as well. Betty and Galen Julian have 2 grandkids in the hospital with RSV. Betty Kennedy's aunt is in ICU in Forest General, so remember her in a very serious situation. Let's see. There are some operations going on this week. Remember Betty Ruff and Clara Long. They lost their brother this past week. Memorial service will be July 24th in Arkansas. Okay. Well, that's the hospital list. Why don't you share an encouraging word or verse for us, and we'll pray.
That was Tim's way of saying, keep it short.
I'm subtle.
Yeah, you are. So this is just something, I don't know how this is going to come out. Every time, I practiced it a couple times, and it was very different both times. But this is just something it's on my heart right now. I like to, if I teach anybody something, I like to at least be just past that segment in my life before I tell everyone what it means and how to think about it. I'm right in the middle of this. So this is going to be chaos. Here we go. This is in Ecclesiastes. If you don't know who wrote that, shame on you. Here we go. I have seen something else under the sun. The race is not to the swift or the battle to the strong. Nor does food come to the wise, or wealth to the brilliant, or favor to the learned. But time and chance happen to them all. Moreover, no man knows when his hour will come. As fish are caught in a cruel net, or birds are taken in a snare, so men are trapped by evil times that fall unexpectedly upon them. I think when he says the race is not to the swift, or the battle to the strong, or the battle to the strong, I think of David and Goliath. I think that's I don't think the battle went to the strong there necessarily. Food come to the wise. Just thought about this think about Elijah feeding the widow. I think of how many other maybe people were in the same position. They didn't get the food. They starved to death, and we didn't read about them. When he says time and chance happened to them all, it seems that if you're in a race, the fast should win. I'm not getting crazy here with those thoughts. If you're in a battle, the strong should beat the weak. It seems like that would be something that should happen over here in chapter 11. Cast your bread upon the waters, for after many days you will find it again. Give portions to 7, yes to 8, for you do not know what disaster may come upon the land. If clouds are full of water, they pour rain upon the earth. Whether a tree falls to the south or to the north, in the place where it falls, there will it lie. Whoever watches the wind, and this is where he kind of brings it home. If you're thinking, wow, Solomon, that's awesome. When a tree falls, there it is. The wisest man ever. Great job. He brings us home here. Whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. As you do not know the path of the wind, or how the body is formed in a mother's womb, so you cannot understand the work of God, the maker of all things. And so here's the command. Sow your seed in the morning, and at evening let not your hands be idle, for you do not know which will succeed, whether this or that, or whether they will both do equally well. And so I'm kind of in a situation right now. I want to be diligent, but not hasty. But there's so many decisions right now to make. I've tried to, we got to go up there, and I'm looking at the market, and it's a bad time to buy. It's a bad time to. It's okay time to sell. Oh, it's a great time to sell. Yeah, well, I mean, we got to live somewhere, so you got to turn right around and buy. So where are you going to live? Well, I don't know. There are lots of different places to live up there. What are you going to do? I think often we ask ourselves, maybe there are 3 different options in front of us, A, B, C. Well, if we just pray long enough and hard enough, God will tell us which one to pick, A, B, or C. Well, I think he's already told us which one to pick. Pick one. Go, move. But we think it's the faithful thing. We think it's the thing that takes faith if we choose what God is telling us to choose. And so we want to know, God, tell us which it is, A, B, or C. And then we'll choose that. We think that that's what faith looks like, if he just tells us what to do. But I don't think that's what the scriptures say. I think that that's a lack of faith, needing to know what to do. I think when I think of who God is, when he has set us here, the maker of all things, when he has made every cell in our bodies, when he holds our atoms together, and we're afraid then to make the wrong decision, knowing that he is in charge of everything. He's created our personalities, what we know, all of our experiences. He's sanctified us up to this point. It's really a lack of faith when we won't just move and go. And so, now don't get me wrong. Can we not go the wrong place? Can we not do the wrong thing then? Sure, absolutely. But he's already told us how to make decisions, and that's to do the right thing. I don't think God's going to tell me to lie to you. He's already told me not to do that, but to move forward. And so I'm sitting here, I'm nervous. Even as I say this, I'm nervous that I'm going to make the wrong decisions.
Sure.
And that's why I'm kind of saying this. And so that's a way for me to understand that that's a problem I have. That's a problem with my own heart. And that's kind of my heart revealing itself. When I'm reluctant to maybe do certain things, and there's nothing wrong about it, and I think I am being diligent, but not hasty. I think I am being prudent in my decisions, but then I don't want to make them. That's just fear, and that's not faith. And I think God is just telling me to move forward. But that's just right where I am. I don't know if there may be one person out there that goes, "Oh, that helped me," and everyone else is like, "What is he talking about?"
Man, I love it. Good job. Thank you so much. Right on. Let me pray for you guys, for your family, for Jonathan. It's the first time I learned his name was today.
Okay, that's his name.
And for your move and the work that you're going to do there at Answers in Genesis. Thanks for being part of our church. We've loved your family.
Let me say, I know you're wrapping this up. Psych. I have to say this, and that's why I had to stop you. To everyone that's helped us, and that's that's everybody. If we run into you, even for a minute, God's used you in our lives, whether you even meant to or not. He did, and it's so extremely humbling. I feel like I'm leaving the team. I don't want to do that. I like to go down with the ship, and so that's something else. I'm not gonna be able to thank. I'm not gonna be able to thank any of you enough. Even the people that I've had 30-minute or hour-long conversation with and trying to drill this into you, I can tell you don't quite get it. And how much God's just kind of crushing me right now. I care about and I want to see y'all succeed, and I don't want you to think that you didn't help me. If you for a second think, oh, he's going to forget and, he didn't understand or he didn't care, don't believe those lies. And like I've told lots of people, do not make it awkward in heaven when I have to come over there and make fun of you for not getting in touch with me, especially if you come up there to the museum, which you better.
Here's what we need to know. Can you get us discounts on tickets?
I think. I'm not really sure.
Well,
I didn't ask those questions. Definitely ask for the Wi-Fi guy. As far as I know, I'll be the only one. So if you're at the ticket counter or whatever, just ask. And if I'm anywhere around, if I can, I want to come and hug you. And it's just going to be, it's such a short time between here and the rest of our life. It's going to be over like that. Don't steal that opportunity from me. Don't be too proud to let me help you in some small way, because I definitely owe it to you. And I mean that.
Oh, don't worry.
Okay.
We'll collect.
Okay. Good.
We're expecting that discount at the Arkin counter.
It's very cheap. You should go.
No, I've never been. I would love to go. My kids are getting older. They really need to go, especially while they're young.
It's first class. It's first class.
I have nephews that went this year, but I haven't yet taken my kids.
Be prepared to be surrounded by truth in a way that you're maybe not ready for, and to feel like, I remember my first time coming to here to Morrison Heights and seeing all these believers, and I was blown away. And I mean, I couldn't help but, tears were in my eyes. I just felt like I was drinking water for the first time, and to have someone preaching the word, and I was like, this doesn't feel normal, but I think it's supposed to be. Don't be surprised if you get that feeling again, or maybe for the first time in a while, if ever. I don't know. When you're surrounded by so much truth, I hope it punches you hard, right in the stomach or the neck, wherever you need it.
Thank you. The eloquence was rocking there, and then right at the end.
Whatever God wants to do in your life.
It's time to pray. Let me pray for you guys. Lord, thank you so much for Dan and Brandy, for their family, the many blessings that you've brought to me and to our church through them. Bless them. Thank you for providing this opportunity for them. Pray that it will be a great move for their family, that you'll direct their steps, guide their decisions, that you'll give Dan great success in his work, and that it'll be a great fit working with Answers in Genesis. And just pray that your work will continue here, in part because of what Dan does through them. God, protect them as they move. Bless the health of their children. Thank you so much, Lord, for this new baby. Bless Jonathan and all of his brothers and sister. They're a great blessing to us. Bless these who are in the hospital. We remember those who have lost loved ones and who are really struggling right now. Pray for your blessing and comfort for them. In Christ's name we pray. Amen. Dan Lauing, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thank you.
A couple things as we close. We're recording this on Wednesday. Men's mentoring dinner tonight. You coming?
I think I have to.
I got a little medallion thing for you. You got to come get it.
I want to
some
come.
fajitas. So, yeah, we're having fajitas. So, if you're interested in the men's mentoring program, apply. Dan did it both years, and he recommends it. Right?
I do.
Okay.
I do. If for no other reason, then it makes these elderly and I meant in an elder way, teaching pastors spend time with you when they normally might avoid you and seek out more fun times with other people. You get to look enough from the peanut gallery.
Tom, record this. We're putting it on the ad for the men's mentoring program recruitment.
That's I thought was awesome.
Right on. Right on.
You learn so much. Iron sharpens iron, and even when y'all are messing up and doing dumb stuff, I think, okay, I just learned so much. I like hanging out with you guys.
I can't think of a time when I've messed up or done dumb stuff, so I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm not an elder anyways. Also this week, we had Super Summer at Mississippi College. Lots of our students were there, and it got shut down on Tuesday night because of COVID.
What?
Yeah. Everybody got sent home last night or this morning. So kids were tested positive for COVID, and I don't know. I guess it was spreading. I guess it was bad enough they sent everybody home. So, bummer.
Sad. I saw them there, but I didn't know they were about to send them home any minute.
It was a 1.5 day Super Summer, apparently, or maybe 2 days. So we'll end on that encouraging note. This is Morrison Heights Family Connect. We love our family.